guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elena. If you guys wondering if you're chopping anything today, the answer is absolutely. And surprise, it's another Hoya we're cutting up, and the Hoya of the day is, this is my Hoya latifolia, which is, most of you guys know it as Hoya macrophylla. Well, no more. This is Hoya latifolia at this point. Name is changed. I feel like the minute we learn how to pronounce those names and remembering them, that's when the name just changes. If you guys want to really know the full extent of why and how and all that stuff, check out Daisy's Plants. I really enjoy his channel, and he have this whole video when he explains it really good, how it happened and why it happened. So if you guys want to know more, definitely check it out. I'm not gonna go there. Basically this is latifolia and we're chopping her up today. I'm not gonna cut the whole Hoya today. I'm just gonna cut up one vine, which is, I believe I have 7 nodes on there, which is gonna make 7 plants, I guess. So I purchased this Hoya quite some time ago. I bought it from Gabriella's Plants when they were just starting out. It's a good sized plant. I believe there is actually 5 plants in there, which is back then, a while ago, when Hoyas weren't that popular, not many people knew about them. You used to be able to get a actually good sized pot with quite a few plants in there, not just one node cuttings. This is basically latifolia, and it's albomarginata. It has those white margins, or I don't know, it's like yellowish greenish. So it does have those lighter margins on the outside of the leaf. That's what I purchased as. I paid for this, which wasn't really a lot of money. I believe I maybe paid $25 for it, so it was plus shipping, so it wasn't that expensive at all, especially having that many plants in the pot. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but it's pretty full pot in there. I just happen to be one of those lucky people who purchased very inexpensive plant, and all of a sudden one of the vines on this plant became a pot of gold, which means that's the variegation on inside of the leaf. So it's only one vine, and that's why we're going to be only cutting just one of them. So every single leaf on that vine is continued with inner variegation, so that seems to me pretty stable. I'm gonna try to just chop it up node by node and pot them up, root them, and hopefully it's gonna continue on the new growth. And if it is, that would be amazing. Because I would have a lot of pot of golds, and maybe I can put them all in one pot and have just albomarginata in one pot and pot of gold in another pot and see what happens. And I usually don't really get lucky that often, so that's kind of nice. Before we start cutting, I kind of want to give you a little rundown about this Hoya. This Hoya lives on my north window. It's right in the window. It seems like it's receiving good amount of light because it's pretty happy. In fact, this newer leaf right here, you can see how much splash it has. So it's doing pretty well there. The only light is really getting is from my north window, and at night a little bit from the lamp that I have on a table next to it. They just grow light in there, so it gets a little bit of that at night. But basically just northern window light all day long. I water it, I want to say once every couple of weeks, because it is in a 6-inch pot. It does have a drainage hole, and I basically water just like any other Hoya. And I don't know if you guys have seen it in my previous video. I gauge it by just really feeling the leaves, and they are firm, then I don't water it. If they start to feel soft, I don't wait till they wrinkled. I just, once they start feeling a little bit soft, that's when I water my Hoya. It seems like it's loving that schedule. It works out very well. I do have a lot of peduncles on it. So there's 2 right here that's actually starting up, so it will bloom pretty soon. Oh my gosh, it's sticky. It does have that sticky sap on the vines. You can even see it on the peduncles. There's 2 peduncles on the vine that we're going to cut. Those are big, and these are, they're not planning on blooming, so it's okay to cut this vine. Oh, there is another one right here that's starting up. On the vine that we're going to cut, there's another little peduncle right here. And I have one, that was the first peduncle I got. It's all the way in the pot. It's literally right there, so close to the soil. That first bloom that I got, it was right there. It was literally blooming into the soil, so I had to prop it up with like a little paper pen, so at least it's not blooming into the soil. But that was my first peduncle. Now we got more, and we'll be able to see them when they bloom. The flowers itself, I honestly don't really remember the scent on it, maybe because the first peduncle in the soil, it was beautiful. It bloomed a couple of times for me. I didn't detect any scent. Maybe I missed it, I don't know. The other peduncles, the two peduncles right here on the vine that we're gonna be cutting, those did bloom at the same time, but I kind of missed it. So I was out of town, came back, and it was already almost done. The blooms in itself, I'll insert the picture right here somewhere, but blooms itself, I was not really blown away, I gotta tell you. I mean, it's a, you know, big umbel of blooms, but the blooms itself are actually pretty small considering how large leaves on this Hoya. So I wouldn't say I was totally blown away by those blooms. I would say there is some prettier blooms on other Hoyas that I have. So, but it's nice that it bloomed. I don't mind it. It's pretty, and I'm okay if it doesn't, because the foliage absolutely gorgeous. That's it about this Hoya. Super easy. Definitely recommend for anybody. Beginners, totally easy Hoya to take care of. If you're not a beginner, just pretty Hoya to have. Let's release that vine and start chopping. I'm gonna try not to break anything here. There it is, all untangled. And there's actually one spot right here that's just a node, no leaves. I'm gonna take this vine all the way down. There is one leaf which is very old, and it's not the prettiest leaf. That's the leaf that it came with. So it's not that it came in a bad shape, it just an old leaf. So I'm just gonna go in there, and I'm gonna cut kind of low, and it's gonna drip. It's the same really concept, just like any Hoya to propagate. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut between the nodes, kind of close, and basically just chop them up. Obviously this piece, which have a new growth point, which we might lose. Sometimes I do lose those growth points when I'm propagating, so we'll see. I got actually 3 peduncles on this vine, pretty long stem, and a nice little variegation. So whenever you cut your plants, always make sure you give it time to close up a little bit at the spot where you cut it. Or, like I mentioned before, if I don't have time to wait, like especially now when I'm making videos, obviously I'm not gonna wait and come back and continue. So what I do, I just pot it up, because you guys know I always do a direct soil propagation. I just pot them in there, and just don't water it for a little while. And after a few hours, once this dries up right here, I would water them. And it's okay if you guys not comfortable with soil propagation, that is totally fine. Everybody have their own way of doing things. Hoya root pretty well in water, so it's really not an issue. You can put it in leca if you want for more stability for your cutting. So really do it any way you want to. I like to bypass those extra steps because I have a lot of plants. I do have a real job on top of a YouTube channel and a family, and I don't have a lot of time to really mess around. So I just prefer direct soil propagation, and I find that it works very well, and I don't really have loss with that. So that's what I do. You can guys try it or do it your way. That's totally fine. And there's no wrong way of doing it. So on this guy right here for now, I'm gonna leave it alone because I mean, it did go through stress of, you know, chopping the whole vine down. Although other plants in there, they're all separate from one another. It's not just one plant. So these guys are gonna be fine. They don't even care that this guy got chopped up. So, but I'm gonna give it a little time, and what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to probably move it to a larger pot eventually and just retrellis. I just have to figure out what trellis I would like to use. I can either use larger, this bamboo U shape trellis. I can try that, just get a really tall one, like 3 feet tall or something. Or I also bought metal wire fence. Maybe I will see if I can make a nice trellis out of that, and just trellis it on something else so it works better and it looks a little bit better, because it does look a little like a little chaos here. So it's not really, I don't personally love the look of the way it's trellising right now. So once I'm ready and once I figure it out the way I want to trellis this plant, I will definitely make sure, maybe make a video for you guys. And if you are interested to see how I would trellis this plant, please let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to make that video, and I will film it obviously. And if not, it's okay. I'll just do it behind the camera. So let's get back to this little guys. They're stopped dripping, which is really good. And this little guy has some kind of issue, but that's an old leaf. That was one of them at the bottom. Something had a bite of it. This one is so cute. It's just weird. And I want to kind of decide, what am I gonna do with this? This is definitely too long for me to put in my little cups. So I might actually, because there's a node right here, it just doesn't have any leaves. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this here above the node. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna throw this in my propagation box. I guarantee you, a little while after, I will find another latifolia in there. As I mentioned before, I like soil propagation. I already prepped the cups with my mixture that I use for propagation only. I do not grow my Hoyas in this mix. I only root them in it. And once it's rooted and I see roots through here, kind of quite a lot of roots, that's when I repot into my regular Hoya medium. Let's pot them up. Super easy, guys. I love this way of doing it. So, and what I do is that I do need to secure them, and I do like to use a strawberry forks and just kind of secure it. The reason why I want to secure this, because when plant is just rooting, you don't necessarily want a stem keep moving around when it's just starting to root. So I like to use little strawberry picks in there and just secure the plant. This one, the internode was very small. We have a shorter stem there, so just put it in there, secure it, done. That's really how easy this is. If you guys watch my videos all the time, that you know that I do have a grow tent. Humidity is pretty high in a grow tent. It's pretty warm there also. I will put them in my grow tent, but initially, still till this day, I kind of still like them to put them in the propagation box. They root fine in my grow tent and all that, but I did found that they root much faster on a heat mat. So I'm just gonna have to figure it out and make space on a heat mat to put more Hoyas to root. I don't really pack this medium when I put them in, because once you water it, it will get packed. I mean, I'll do it a little bit just because these leaves are so heavy. This one is going to be too long also. I'm just gonna cut a little bit shorter. And honestly, if you guys propagating in water, don't worry about how long the stem is. So just put the whole thing in the water. It's probably even better in water when it's longer stem. And longer the stem, more roots you're gonna get, so that's kind of good. So obviously I don't like to cut them too short, but just enough where they are stable. This one's gonna be way ahead of the other guys because it's like have only one leaf, but it has a growth point and 1, 2, 3 peduncles. So that's pretty cool. Just gonna put it in there. Boom. And oh my gosh, you guys gonna laugh. You know how I was complaining about that peduncle that's sitting right at the soil level on my large plant? Guess what I just created, which is really, really funny. We're gonna have another situation like that. The peduncle gonna be right at the soil level. Great. Good job, Elena. Good job. Okay, guys, I got 7 more Hoyas, but they probably gonna go into one pot, maybe? I don't know. That's quite too many. So maybe I'll put like 3 or 4 once they root in a pot, and maybe share other ones. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer, and then I'm just going to water them and put them in my propagation box on a heat mat. Check on them once a week. I check on them, and if they do need to be watered, and when they are on a heat mat, you guys, the heat dries up that medium much faster. So if you guys have a propagation box and there is no heat mat, it could be in the box for a very, very long time before you have to water it again. On a heat mat, you do need to water. You need to water at least, like, I want to say I water it about once a week, and we'll see how long it takes to root. I would say probably in a couple of weeks I should be able to see roots on this Hoya, because this is one of those Hoyas that you kind of see a, I don't know if you guys can be able to, but this little bumps right there, you can see aerial roots. So that is a little head start for them. Hopefully 2 weeks and we'll get some more roots on it. That is all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it very helpful. If you did, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys want to see what propagation medium I use to propagate my Hoyas, check this video out right here. I will see you guys in that video. If not, I will see you guys next Monday. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.